What is your name?
It's finally starting to feel like fall around here. It's like mid-60s where I am, and it's perfect. So I finally got my first pumpkin coffee of the season. Early for some, late for some, perfect for me. Last year I really loved the Nutty Pumpkin iced coffee, which is hazelnut and pumpkin. So I just got that again. And I wanted to try one of their apple cider donuts, but they were all out. So we're going all pumpkin today. Works for me. If we're gonna do pumpkin, we might as well go all out. It's been a busy couple of days for me. Lots of errands, lots of appointments. If you saw my last vlog, I got my oil changed, so knocked that off the to-do list. And then on Saturday, Hunter and I visited a jewelry store to get some price quotes and just some general info on both wedding bands for him and also ring resizing and what that would look like for my wedding ring situation. Because since recently inheriting my grandma's wedding ring on my mom's side, I decided I wanted to also wear that as my wedding ring, as kind of an heirloom ring. To me, it just feels more special, and it really truly was right place, right time. Kind of just fell into our laps right when we were discussing the idea of engagement. And over the past few weeks, I've just been kind of trying it on, looking in the mirror at it, looking at my finger, taking it back off every once in a while just to verify that that is truly something that I like. And I've just absolutely fallen in love with the design of it. I'm really, really happy with it, because I guarantee if I went into the jewelry store with Hunter to pick out an engagement ring, I would walk away with a ring that looks just like everybody else's, that thin band with a stone right in the middle, that type of style that I feel like everybody loves nowadays, which to each their own, it is gorgeous. And again, I would pick that out myself, but I started to just fall in love with having a ring that doesn't look like anybody else's. You know, and God just kind of instilled it in me to move forward with this choice. So I'm really excited about it. The visit to the jeweler was so helpful. The woman that helped us was so knowledgeable on jewelry, and she really helped us to learn some things that we wouldn't have even thought of. She let us know that they'd be having a sale in November, and they have like a money off type of program that we can enroll in and use towards a purchase with them. So that was great. So we'll definitely be going back there probably around the time of the sale to get everything done. But for now, I have a decision to make about the ring, because she said that there are two ways of resizing the ring that I have. One way, they will unsolder the rings, because my grandma's ring has an engagement ring and then a wedding band. And so you'd be paying to unsolder them, resize them, and then solder them back together. That option is like $370, I believe. Whereas if they just go in and do like the whole ring without the unsoldering and soldering process, it would be closer to $150, I want to say. She said that if you were to do that, you would not be able to split them in the future, meaning you could not split them to like wear separately, or to pass on to future family, or to replace the stone with a larger stone. It would take down the value of the ring as well. It's just a bunch of little complications. So that's a conversation that needs to be had. So that's the ring update. I don't really have anything to share on proposal. That's kind of up in the air right now, but I'm not worried about it. Today I had my annual physical at the doctor, which went really well. It felt like a social club in there. I feel like I was there for like an hour, because we were just like chatting it up. It was all women. I worked with two nurses, one that kind of helped check me in, and then one that gave me my shots. I got one in each arm. So we're pretty juiced up right now. But then my doctor is female as well. And we were just talking about so many things, like financials. We were talking about 401ks and Roth IRAs and just like different saving options. We were talking about the fact that I'm going to be engaged and married soon, and she was so excited about that. The nurse complimented my outfit, which was so nice because I do try, and she said I was a beautiful patient. It was just like a feel-good doctor appointment, but it was fine. Everything looked good, and my doctor was super proud of me for being down 12 pounds, which it's crazy when you hear it from your doctor and you don't just look at it on the scale. Anyway, though, we need to run a Target really quick because there are a few things I need to pick up, some cosmetic items, mostly food items. There were some produce things that I wanted to grab last time I was there, but they did not have them stocked. Yellow onions, bell peppers, things like that. So let's head there. Just made it out of Target. And my arm is already a little sore from this shot. I didn't end up getting much of anything that I didn't already mention to you. Here are the onions, peppers, and they used to have bags of 3 peppers, a red, an orange, and a yellow, but they only had 2 in a pack, which isn't what I had planned for. So we're gonna have to adjust and adapt a little bit. I got some tomato paste and some ground ginger for some recipes I'm gonna be trying soon. I got some Pillsbury Ghost cookies. We've already had the pumpkin ones this season, but Hunter told me that his grandma used to make these for him all the time before she passed away. Like when he was a kid, she would just randomly make these as a cute little surprise. And now I just feel like I have to keep buying them. You know, had to pick up my favorite though while I was in that aisle. I love the Nestle Toll House chocolate chip lovers. Sometimes you just need a good chocolate chip cookie, you know, and you don't want to do the whole procedure. I needed to replenish our minced garlic supply because the current jar I have is at the bottom of the barrel and I cook with this all the time. It's a necessity in our household. Speaking of bottom of the barrel, I'm almost out of my CeraVe Daily Moisturizing Lotion, and this is my favorite moisturizer for both AM and PM. I love the pump. It's so convenient. For some reason, I just have a vendetta against digging my finger into a jar of products. I love how quick and easy and sanitary this is. And CeraVe, or CeraVe, however you say it, is just a good, reliable brand, inexpensive, affordable. Like, how can you not? How can you not? And I can be picky with my moisturizers because if they're too thick and heavy on my skin, I don't like it. But this I can use year round and I'm perfectly happy. My next brow pencil is on its last leg. So I got a new brow pencil. I'm gonna try this one by e.l.f. It is the Instant Lift waterproof brow pencil and I got the shade blonde. I'm hoping it matches me well because some brow pencils that are in the shade blonde are too warm or too like orangey for my not my skin color, my hair color. Many times I have to use like taupe type of shades, but I'm thinking based on the swatches I saw online of this that this will be a good match. Last but certainly not least, we are kicking off pumpkin season officially. Okay, today's coffee marked the start of pumpkin coffee for me, partially because it's about that time and partially because I hate my current creamer. If you saw the last vlog, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. I'm taking a chance on this Chobani pumpkin spice flavor. I've not had this flavor by them, but I have had their chocolate chip cookie dough creamer, which has been pretty good and reliable. And I've heard really good things about this one as well. So I'm really excited. I'm gonna be using it tomorrow. Actually, no, I have to go in the office tomorrow, so I'll be doing hot coffee. I do hot coffee on my in-office days, and then when I'm home and have time to actually be cutesy, it's iced coffee. I'm gonna run all that home. The construction around here has been just driving me insane a little bit, and the people don't help. Like the people that know that the lane is ending and don't get over until the last second, until the traffic cones are starting to butt into their lane. Like what possesses somebody to continue to stay in that lane when you see the signs, you see the cones, you see the giant flashing arrow? Like it's never really made sense to me. Let's head home, unpack these groceries, and then get on with the rest of our night. I'm giving very pale on camera this morning, and I'm not really sure what that's about. Excuse the very cool lighting. I guess where I'm parked, the sun just hasn't quite like creeped up over the tall buildings that I'm parked in front of. Anyway, though, it is Tuesday morning. I just pulled up to the office for my 9 to 5, and we're coming off a very busy and exciting weekend. It was my dad's birthday on Saturday. It's actually my mom's birthday today, so we're going to be celebrating with her after the 9 to 5 during the evening. Unfortunately, she has a very busy work day today, and I have a busy work day today, so we couldn't really like plan anything else. But we'll definitely be using this upcoming weekend as like an extension of her birthday, since it's kind of hard when you have your birthday on a weekday and you only really have the evening to feel like it's your birthday. But anyway, I apologize for not really vlogging much of this weekend. There are just some days, some weekends, some moments where I just don't feel like picking up the camera and I really just want to be present and live in the moment. And this weekend was one of those. Unfortunately, I am coming off a very busy weekend into a very busy week. Today, I have several different meetings to attend. 2 of them are regarding the same general topic. To put it very vaguely and simply, I am part of an administrative team at my work, and my role is marketing communications focused and just focused on our company's and our team's multimedia presence. So I'm always thinking about promotion and thinking very strategically about communication and marketing and advertising, whereas my other administrative colleagues are thinking very administratively and organizationally and procedurally. And lately there's this procedure that we're realizing kind of causes us all to butt heads and not all get what we need in the most efficient way. So we're really just trying to strategize how to refine that procedure so that everybody gets what they need in an orderly fashion. Hopefully that makes sense. So basically my supervisor set up a meeting for all of the administrative team to meet and discuss all of this, and he timed it perfectly so that we can attend a little workshop that's actually on this type of topic shortly before, like an hour before we are scheduled to meet as a team. And then later on I have a meeting, like an informational type of kickoff meeting for like a little local community giving campaign, I guess, that our area is doing, that our company is participating in. So those are my main focuses for today. The rest of the week is actually kind of okay up until Friday. My team is doing, they're calling it a retreat, to just basically like sit together and brainstorm for 3 hours, and it happens to be from 2:30 to 5:30. And I usually will leave the office by 4:30. So it's like borderline getting into after hours for me, which I get very stingy about. I tend to set a nice thick boundary between my work and my personal life, my personal time after hours. And when that boundary starts to get crossed, I get a little weird. So like the happy hours and all of that, I've never been a fan. I'm so sorry. It's not my cup of tea. I feel like it's not necessary, but that's just me. It doesn't help that I'm an introvert and I am also a homebody. So I prefer to be home and alone, or at least like with the people that I know very, very closely. But the longer you are working in a 9 to 5, the more you just absolutely cherish that time after you get home from work. The more you cherish the moments where you're not at work, where you're not with your colleagues, if I'm being honest. But yes, that is my week. I'm going to really try to prioritize my wellness and try to keep my stress levels at bay this week, because last week I was waking up with headaches like constantly. I don't know what that was about. Maybe it's the weather change and it's not stress related at all, because the temperatures have just like randomly dropped here, but then they'll creep back up again later this week. So I don't know what's really going on. No, though, I definitely was stressed because I was like having dreams about work, and like I was tossing and turning and having restless sleep and like imagining scenarios in my head well half asleep, like in my subconscious. I feel like that's how you know you're stressed, is when you're basically thinking when you're supposed to not be thinking. I have some very exciting news to tell you that I've kind of just been like waiting to tell you ever since picking up the camera this morning. This past weekend, Hunter and I finally booked a wedding venue. Like, oh my gosh, so out of nowhere. And I feel like I've been trying to update you here and there on the situation, and you're probably thinking like, aren't you like not even engaged yet? The answer is yes. Normally people will get engaged and then take a year to plan out their entire wedding situation. But Hunter and I are like so adamant that this is going to be such a low stress thing. Like, we don't want it to feel like we're planning a whole event. We just want it to be like a small, intimate gathering. And really, we're kind of just at the point in our relationship where we're just doing the engagement to get closer to marriage, you know? So we're going to have a shorter engagement. So we figure, why not just start planning everything out now? And I'm really glad we did, because the venue we actually ended up booking, the slots were filling up so fast. So we actually ended up getting one of the last Saturdays over the summer next year that we wanted. So we officially have a date for our wedding before even being engaged, which sounds crazy, and you're gonna think I'm crazy, but to him and I, it all makes sense. Like, we all have it. It's all figured out. It's already worked out. Like, we're good. And this is the way we're doing it is, even though it sounds more stressful to probably all of you, it's less stressful to us. We're just both such planners, and like not in a super like micromanagey, nitpicky, stubborn way. Just, we like to have things planned out. So it just felt right to start thinking about that early. And because slots were being booked up for the venue, we just went ahead and did it, because we know we're getting married. It's not like our marriage could just be thrown out the window at any second. Like, we are very firm in our relationship. So we did it, and I'm really excited, and I'm really excited for the venue. I think it's going to be perfect for what we want. We are planning on just doing a reception. So just having people come for dinner and drinks and hanging out, and basically just celebrating our marriage that's going to be happening shortly before the event, like within the month. We want to just get married privately so we can enjoy the day together and like cherish that moment together as a couple without having all the family there at once, and, you know, having to entertain basically like right after you make this huge commitment and this huge milestone for your relationship. You're like, okay, time to go appease my family. And that's just not us at all. And to us, like, a ceremony kind of felt like, I don't know what the word is. It kind of felt like a show. Like, the idea of it felt like putting on a show that we didn't feel like we actually needed to put on. So there's just a multitude of reasons that we want to do the ceremony at like a courthouse, just us two, and just have that done so that we can frame our actual like wedding party as just a party, a celebration of what's already been done. I don't know. There's just like so many reasons that we decided to do that I feel like I can't even get into all of them. It literally just like blossomed into an idea as we started to talk about our future. We were like, do we even really want to do a wedding? For such a multitude of reasons. So if you have any questions like about why we are doing it the way we are, or if you have any questions about like, hey, honey, have you thought about this? Like, what's the tea on this? Just let me know in the comments. I will respond to you. You might get a whole text string of replies from me, but that's what our community here is about. But yeah, that's the situation. It was kind of crazy to actually go and like book it and make the rental payment, because just like a month ago we were considering a completely separate venue, but ultimately we ended up really liking this one, not only because it's a lot more budget friendly, but also because we have a lot more control around the venue. With the other venue we were looking at, we wouldn't be able to get to the venue to like set up until basically right around when we want to start the actual event, whereas this one we can get there like in the morning. So we have basically an all-day rental, and also no food and beverage minimums. If you know, you know. No weird additional fees, no like approved caterers list. The other place we were looking at wanted $3.25 a soda with no refills, which maybe that's normal if you're in the event planning space, no shade, but like I just can't justify that. Like we could not get around it. Like at the end of the day, the $3.25 a soda was really what like irked us. And honestly, we were kind of worried with that particular situation that we were just going to end up with a bill in our laps at the end of the night with a much higher amount than we had anticipated. Whereas this is very clean cut. We can choose the food, we can choose the drink, we can bring in whatever the heck we want. We can like mix and match food. Quite literally, we don't have to only use that one person's food and that one person's drink, and we don't have to worry about like paying per pour on the wines. And like, no, tables and chairs already there. We just got to set them up, put a tablecloth on them, put the centerpieces on them, everything like that. Dunzo. Hunter and I are just very like make it easy and efficient kind of people, and this is like as easy and efficient as it gets. So I'm just really excited about it, and I feel like it's going to be really easy to keep it low stress and low stakes. So there will, of course, be plenty of forthcoming updates on that as I plan and as we plan. I've already started on the invitations, and like that just exemplifies how much of a planner I am and Hunter matches my energy. So it's like, it's no wonder that we're planning the wedding before even being engaged, but like we have the rings figured out. Like that's going to be happening very soon. So it makes sense in our minds. That's all I'm going to say. I don't need to justify it, but I'm just telling you, like, it does make sense in our minds, even if I'm not explaining it the most eloquently. But yeah, the invitations already looking so cute. Like I'm literally just using Canva because it's something I use every day at my job, and highly recommend if you haven't. Like, you don't have to go buy the templates off of Etsy or like pay an extra upcharge to make a custom card. I'm telling you right now, like just go to Canva. You're gonna have to pay to print them, but you can really make it your own. Everything is looking really good, and I'm really excited. I'm trying not to be too overkill with the planning and try not to be too overkill about like my expectations for it, because it's really hard for me to spend, money on something that's only going to be used for one night type of thing. So like, it's so easy to go on Pinterest and be like, oh, that's really cute, I want to do that. And then you look up how much that would actually cost to do, and you're like, oh, do I really want to pay that much for something that I'm going to display at my wedding and then put in my basement? For some people, the answer is always yes on those things. But for me, I'm trying to think like even further ahead to a house and to kids and to retirement. Retirement is one of those things I feel like people my age just do not think about. And I literally was telling y'all that at my doctor's appointment, I was talking to my doctor about retirement, and she was saying like, I really wish I had focused on retirement earlier on in life, because then I wouldn't be working right now. And I'll be honest with you right now, if I wasn't with Hunter, who majored in finance and economics and like knows about all of these things and did his own research and figured out how to invest and save his money in an effective way, I wouldn't be telling you this, right? I wouldn't even be having this conversation with you right now. But like, there are so many ways you can invest your money and save your money instead of just having it sit in your bank account earning like 0.01 interest. And I think the big reason that people don't do this at my age is a reason that I completely understand, to be honest with you, that I've actually kind of been feeling myself, is why save your money for a time when you're going to be old, when you can spend it now while you're young? and able to do more. You know what I mean? And I think people view money now as like something you just spend as a consumer. And so when you think about it that way, you're like, well, there's so many things I can spend my money on now while I'm young, whereas when I'm old, what am I going to need? I'm going to have everything I could possibly need. And if you only viewed it from that perspective, I too would be like, why am I putting money into these things? But if you look at it from the perspective of like that money that you're putting away is your ticket to retirement, that just hits completely different, because the more you're saving now and the sooner you start saving, the earlier you can retire. And like, to me, that's worth not spending all my money right now, because like, we do not need to be working these 9-to-5 jobs or any job. Like, we don't need to be working our whole lives. You don't need to work until the government tells you to stop working. You know what I mean? Like, you're in control of that, but it's just a matter of saving your money in an effective way. So I don't know what I'm turning into Hunter. Like, this is why we're together. You know, this is why we're getting married. Anyway, though, do your research. Okay, I'm not a financial advisor, obviously, or anything of the sort. I just want what's best for you. That's all I am. You know, I'm just your girlfriend. I'm just here to help. So just do your research on your options and like seriously consider saving your money.
I'm going to win.
Y'all are gonna laugh when I tell you that I had to stop at Target again for a second time in this vlog, but I'm willing to accept it because I needed some things. I mostly actually went for only 2 things, one of which is flour. I'm on a spree of trying new recipes, and I used the rest of my flour in one of my most recent ones, so I just needed to re-up on it. And there were like multiple kinds of flour. I don't know what unbleached means versus bleached. I don't know. There were like 10 different kinds of flour in the aisle. So I needed that. And then the second thing I went to get was just a tub of vanilla ice cream, because Hunter and I recently made a pack of brownie mix. He was really craving them, but we didn't have any ice cream in the house. So the first night that we made them, we just ate them plain. But I know he would love some vanilla ice cream to have with them. So I'm gonna surprise him with that tub, which is in the freezer. While I was there, I picked up a few extra staples that are regularly stocked in this household. The first one being my recent favorite soda, Dr. Pepper Zero. I really like it. I also really like Diet Dr. Pepper, but this just tastes a little bit sweeter to me, so I tend to opt for this one if it's available. A jar of tomato sauce for spaghetti, because I feel like spaghetti is really, really easy, so it's always good to just have a jar of this on hand. And then I also got a few like health and hygiene related items. I've been out of floss for a little bit and just using whatever the dentist gives me, which is just not enough. So some Up and Up mint floss. And along the same lines, I've been wanting to try these for a while, and then I heard someone on YouTube talking about them. I think it was McKenna Walker. I think she brought them up again recently, so they popped back into my mind again, and so I finally picked some up. These are Listerine Cool Mint pocket packs. They're like little breath strips, and I mostly got these for the workday because, like, don't get me wrong, my breath is nice and fresh at the beginning of the day, freshly brushed mouth, like we're all good there. But then you go through a cup of coffee, you go through lunch. Sometimes I take like a protein shake, and those like will give you the nastiest breath. I don't know what it is. And a lot of times I will have meetings scheduled for after all of that time passes. So I wanted to try these to just pop one before meetings. I remember trying one a long time ago, like when I was a little kid, and it was really strong, like really minty. And so since then I just stayed away. But we're adults. We're adults now. At least I would hope. Very cute and portable. I'm hoping this is like a hack that I will just continue to recommend. Oh, she's a little strong. Oh, she's spicy. She's real spicy. That's about how I remembered it. Very intense, but very short-lived. Like, I'm feeling okay now. I'm feeling like I'm breathing ice right now a little bit, but I think that's what it's supposed to be. This also comes in Fresh Burst, which I don't know if that's a little more mild. If anyone knows, let me know. I think I can do this. I really do. And the thing I like about it is it's not just like a breath mint, it also kills 99% of bad breath germs, it says. So it's like almost more than just a temporary solution. And then I got some chewable magnesium. I've been taking magnesium like on and off for the past few months, but when I went to my doctor's appointment, we talked a little bit about the migraines that I will have. I used to have them a lot when I was not taking the continuous birth control pill, and my hormones would just drop at the end of each pack during the like placebo days. But since I've been taking the pill continuously, so my hormone levels stay pretty level, normally I'll only get migraines with certain triggers like a lack of sleep or like intense exercise, stress, just like little random things like that. But my doctor and I were talking about it, and she re-recommended magnesium to me. So she kind of reminded me that like I need to be taking that more consistently, or at least I should try to take it more consistently and see if it makes a difference. But I realized that the gummies I've been taking are only 200 milligrams, and she recommends 400 to 600 milligrams. And so these are 400 milligrams per serving. They're just the Up and Up brand, and they're chewable, cherry flavor. So we'll see how they are. I feel like magnesium is not something that is easy to make tasty. So just a little baby Target haul, like nothing too excessive, of course. However, I placed an Amazon order, and again, it's really not much. This is one of 2 shipments. It was all supposed to ship together, but then one of the items was delayed and taking too long to ship. So they just said, we'll ship half of your order, and then the other item will ship later. That other item, which obviously is not going to be in here, is the Australian Gold Tinted SPF. If you're a skincare girly, if you wear SPF, if you've researched your SPFs, I'm sure you've heard of it. It's a very popular option, very budget friendly. My problem with other tinted sunscreens is they tend to provide like little to no coverage, and I've heard that this one has a little bit more coverage to it, like a little more substance to it. So we'll see once she finally comes in. But for now, let's unbox this one. So the first thing that I got, this is like wrapped very thoroughly. First thing I got is just a gel polish. I think I mentioned in my last video that I was really hoping to do like a cherry red nail to break in the fall season, but I don't own a cherry red polish. They're all very orange toned. So I ordered this one from Arte Clavo. Hopefully that's how you say it. And I got it in the color 1847. From the pictures online and even the cap in person, it looks like the perfect red that I'm looking for. So be prepared for this to make an appearance in the near future. And then the last things I got are DIY lash extension materials. If you've been with me for a little while, you know that there was a phase I had where I was using Lashify lash clusters and products, and then I ran out of the Lashify clusters, so I ordered some other Amazon lash clusters from B&Q, and then those I think weren't suitable for what I was trying to use them for a more long-term application, and I just don't know that they were suitable for my eyes. So since then I kind of just like kicked it to the curb and like gave it up. But lately I've been seeing so many of my YouTube girlies that I love to watch, Michaela Amari, Mac Nicole, Kaya, like they all do their own lash clusters at home using similar products. So I got some different lash extensions. I got these ones from the brand QL. And if you just look, these are the lash extensions I was using before from B&Q. You can kind of see how thick and wide the band on them is. And then these new ones I got, the band is a lot smaller. And I think because these ones were so big, they weren't adhering to my eye in the way they needed to. And these are also a D-curl, and I have very thick straight lashes, so I think what I really needed was a C curl. So from this brand, which like hello value, look at all of those. These things are huge. I got 20D, so that's like one of the more natural styles. I think they start at 10D and go up to 50 or 60. And as the number interval increases, the thicker and like more dramatic they get. So 20D, and then I got, it says 0.07C. I don't know what the 0.07 means. I just know that it's a C curl, and I got 11 and 12 millimeters. So I'm thinking I'll do the 11s on the inner half of my eye and then the 12s on the outer half so that it's kind of proportional. And then all those creators that I mentioned are using a duo-sided eye glue. I don't know if it's this one or not, but this one had the best reviews out of all the ones I was looking at on Amazon. But it has one side that's a bond and then one side that's a seal. So you apply, I believe, the bond as kind of a glue, and then you apply the lash extensions, and then you go over top with the seal to make them last longer. But people were raving about this, saying it's like the longest lasting glue that they've used for this specific purpose. Like they've had their lashes last a week, some say 2, some say 3, like that's all I needed to hear. At least a week is what I'm hoping for. We'll definitely be testing that out in the coming days. I think it's about time that I end off this vlog, not only because I have so much other content to put out for you all. I have a morning routine and a night routine coming very soon. And then this weekend for my mom's birthday, we're doing all the fall festivities. We're going to a pumpkin patch. We may carve the pumpkins the same weekend, or we might save it for next weekend. I'm not really sure, but I want to vlog that as well in a separate video. So I'll be seeing you very soon. Don't even worry about it. And until next time.